First up on the live Q&A from Devin Frost. Are you as sick of this contract talk as I am? I am fatigued by it because this deal should have been done already. I don't think they're that far off. We know about what the value is for Dak Prescott. Just get it done. Mr. Payne 522 taking shots at others in the comments section. I love seeing people talk about getting rid of Dak when they have no idea what they are talking about. I don't want to call anybody out in the comments, but I've certainly seen several, both in my mentions on Twitter and in the YouTube chat, that I don't think we're aware of how other quarterbacks play in the NFL. Denell Graves, Dak deal will get done, and in all honesty, Dak is by far better than Goff, Wentz, Ryan. Think I'm lying. Look back on all those quarterbacks' performances. Look, you're looking at about $33.5 million. That's about what it's going to come in at. How much higher you go, even if it's to 35, you're not really paying all that much more. So at that point, get it done. And I'll make this point again. The longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to be. If you let Mahomes, if you let Watson get their extensions, a rising tide lifts all boats. You're going to have to pay more for them in the end. All right, Barrett B49. If we tag Dak, what do we do about Amari? So reminder here, I've mentioned it before, but we'll go over it, I'm sure, plenty of more times. If there is no new CBA, if that does not happen, by the time we get to the tag deadline and windows and all of that, you are allowed to use not just the franchise tag, but also the transition tag. So if you do that, you can tag Dak and tag Amari Cooper, although it would bring you into an issue here in terms of having to pay Byron Jones. Kyle Johnson, tag and trade to the Panthers, then bring in Jameis Winston. But why would I want to get way worse at quarterback and frankly have a turnover-prone guy who's not going to cost you that much less? Why would I want Jameis? No, absolutely not. Like, you would get a nice trade piece back, I'm sure, but Winston? No. He's a turnover machine. Absolutely not. Martin Schmitt, tag and trade Prescott for first-round pick to Miami, possible. I suppose technically it is. I would also venture to say it might be more likely that the Dolphins just take the quarterback. It's really not always fair. NFL teams like to keep their first-round pick, because they get 4 to 5 years of super cheap play. That first-round pick for Miami, since they are rebuilding, I think they might just prefer to stick with maybe a Tua Tagovailoa if he medically checks out. Of course, the medical, a pretty massive red flag there. AJ Mayers, is it pay Dak or bust? Because then we're stuck with Cooper Rush. I think at that point you would have to look for other options. I go with pay Dak over other options because I don't trust them as much. I don't think the Cowboys would enter next year if they were to fall apart completely with Dak Prescott with only Cooper Rush. That is a recipe for disaster. And the Cowboys' hiring of Mike McCarthy was a win-now move. Not paying Dak is decidedly not a win-now move. JB97, what about getting Mariota for a cheaper price in case Dak does not get his contract extension? I would bring in Mariota as a backup. I would be willing to do that, but, we would know at a certain point if Dak's going to be your guy by the time you sign Mariota. You would have free agency then, and you'd probably try and get your deal done before that for Mariota signs. He can be a backup, but look, he got benched for Ryan Tannehill, and Tannehill looked way better than Mariota did, so I'm not banking on Mariota being anything more than a stopgap backup option. So again, what do you guys want to do with Dak Prescott? Type T for tag, P for pay, W for let walk. Don't want to let him walk because now you're just losing out on a whole lot there. T for tag. Again, I am open to a tag, but mostly to get a payment done down the road. That's kind of my mindset. I don't want to go that route. In the end, I would rather pay him and get him over with. And I do see mostly pays coming in here in the comment section. So keep those votes coming. T for tag, P for pay, W for let walk. Kush Gupta, should we sign Byron Jones or Amari Cooper first? I would sign both of them quicker than usual. I think of the two, if you're going to let one walk, or let the open market, I don't think you can let Byron hit the open market. I think we know Amari Cooper price range probably comes in around what the Cowboys, I think, would be willing to pay. Meanwhile, for Byron Jones, If he hits the open market, I think he's gone. He's going to get a massive amount beyond just what the Cowboys, I think, are going to be willing to offer. So I would try and get Byron done first. Tyler Reeves, bring back Colt McCoy, back to Texas as a backup. I am on board with this. I like Colt McCoy. Now, McCoy is an older player, but I'd rather have Colt McCoy on my roster than Cooper Rush. That is very clearly something I've asked for before. At this point, I don't. I assume it's not going to happen because I keep asking for it. Joe Aragon, how far are Dak and the Cowboys, I assume you mean apart, because this has been going on for a long time. Is it guaranteed money or the yearly salary? You saw the Cowboys leak out the $40 million ask for Dak Prescott, which I think that was a very deceptive leak. I don't think they're off by very much. If they were, I don't think you would be seeing both sides saying, yeah, we're close, yeah, we're close. So I don't think they're far apart, and I do think in the near future, I don't know when that is. I thought it'd be done by now, but I do think that does get done. Jordan Thomas, trade up for Joe Burrow. Trade Dak and a second to the Bengals after the tag. Let me make this clear. The Bengals are not trading away the number 1 overall pick. I'm used to this NFL Live question. You are not getting Joe Burrow. Give up any dream you had. It is not going to happen. And the fact that you think you get to keep your first 2? No, guys. 5 years of Joe Burrow, who is from Ohio for the Bengals, they're not trading that pick. They are keeping it, and they're taking Joe Burrow. Cobra Commander, if we would draft a quarterback, who should we get? That's the problem. Like, if you draft quarterback, you're picking at 17, you're not going to get Joe Burrow, obviously. You're not going to get up into the range of Tua, because even if you do, whatever you're giving up to get up that high is negated than which would have been if you paid Dak. You're not actually saving anything in terms of draft capital versus money capital. You're not going to get Herbert. Now you're looking at raw Jordan Love, who needs a year at least. Jacob Eason, Jalen Hurts is a shittier version of Dak Prescott. Like, it's not as simple as just draft the guy. I don't think the options are anywhere near as good as Dak Prescott, especially when the rest of your team is entering its prime. You would prefer to win right now with a quarterback that you have in Dak Prescott. Juan Ortiz, pay Dak and Amari, get Dez, draft a safety. Just going to ignore the Dez part. We talked about that hundreds of times. I do like the idea of drafting a safety, though, Juan. I'd also throw in, especially for drafting a safety early, go ahead and re-sign Byron Jones as well. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Use that promo code to see on your screen. It's Cowboys120 at chatsports.com/bet. That's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120. Gets you a 120% deposit bonus. All right, Bright Wendigo, do you think we get Dak for a 7 to 10 year contract that lessens the blow of his big deal? He'd be expensive, no doubt, but considered cheap by the end of his contract. I don't think you're going to get a 10-year deal. I think 7 is about the max. That ends up being like the Tyron Smith contract. So if you do 7, in all reality, NFL agents aren't dumb. You're right that a longer contract would reduce the blow. But it's not like you're saying, hey, Dak, we'll give you 35, but instead of 4 years, how about 7 years? That limits Dak's ability to get paid at the end in that 3-year time frame. So at that point, you'd probably be looking more of like a 7-year 38 or 39 or 40, knowing the cap's going to rise up. It would still save you money. I wonder if Dak's camp prefers a shorter-term contract than a massive 7 or 6 year that the Cowboys often like to do. All right, Mr. Payne 522. Are there any scenarios where you see the Cowboys trading back from pick number 17? I do think there are some scenarios, but it's also way too early. I think you have to look more along the lines of who's on the board. Then it makes more sense. Like if some variation of Javon Kinlaw, Christian Fulton, or another true first round guy, like I'm not trading that pick. If they're off the board, then I'm open to trading down. Jordan Thomas, could Ryan Tannehill fill in? Kind of think you're just going to see the Titans franchise or extend him. He could fit in. I think Dak's better than Ryan Tannehill, and I feel very confident saying that. And if Tannehill were to leave Tennessee, it'd be a bidding war. And at that point, you're not going to actually save much money. Destroyer Dog, who should the Cowboys looking at the most from this draft? I think you're looking at players like Javon Kinlaw, Christian Fulton, the safeties as well, Delpit and Xavier McKinney. I would love to get a Derek Brown. Not going to get my hopes up there. I think those guys are options for the Cowboys. So we've gone over draft targets. Destroyer Dog, check the channel. I know you're subscribed. We'll go over other ones as well. Say we sign Eric Berry and let Jones walk. Is our first-round pick set on being a corner or a DT? In that scenario, I'd really need a corner because I've got Chidobe Awuzie, Jordan Lewis, and that's it. I'm going to try and find a corner there, but I think defensive tackle also remains a pretty big area of need for the Dallas Cowboys. If you are not already, please subscribe to us here on the Cowboys Report. No one will keep you more updated this offseason than we will. So hit that big red button. Subscribe today to the Cowboys Report. I promise you, the draft, free agency, news, rumors, everything, we are going to keep you updated on all things Cowboys. Daniel Peña, does anyone think Taysom Hill should play, let Tax walk? No! Absolute. Dylan, first off, stop trolling me with crappy questions. No! Taysom Hill is 3 of 6 this year. Taysom Hill is a fun football player. Taysom Hill, objectively, whatever way you look at it, is not a full-time quarterback. The things that he does so well, the running, the receiving, the special teams, those go away if you try to make him into your quarterback. He's about to turn 30 years old, and in his career as a passer, Taysom Hill was a sub 50% guy. That's like the Mendoza line and then down here. He is absolutely not a quarterback. Your team's going to suck if you make him a full-time guy. You worry about stuff with Dak, Hill actually has those issues. All right, Andrew Marquez, should we get Delpit or Xavier McKinney? I've seen more and more people now kind of push on Xavier McKinney, and I think that makes sense. McKinney's a safer player. Delpit did not have a great year. A lot of missed tackles. It's a toss-up for me. I'm going to go with the more aggressive pick. That's Grant Delpit. I see Caleb Queen asking about trading down. Safeties tend to slide. Maybe the Cowboys are in a position, going back to that question about a potential trade down, maybe the Cowboys are in a position where Delpit and McKinney are both on the board. Maybe you could trade down, get an extra pick, and still end up with one of them. Now, if you guys are a true Cowboys fan, I want you to type in DC4Life. That's DC4L in the comments section. And even if you don't love Dak Prescott or don't love various players, it's all fine. We're all Cowboys fans as long as we have nice discussions and fair discussions. So type DC4L in the comments section. JB King, do you think Dak will be the highest paid quarterback? I'd like to know when the deal gets done. Dak might end up being the highest paid quarterback, but even if he is, it legitimately might last like a month. And I want to emphasize this point here. Even if let's say you pay Dak Prescott $36, more than I would want to pay him, but only by like $2 million. So at that point, whatever. I'd rather have my quarterback situation figured out. Even if you pay him that, well, guess what? Kirk Cousins is going to get a new deal. Tom Brady might get a new deal. All kinds of players are due for new deals. So if you pay Dak right now, you come back in 2 years, Dak might not even be top 5 anymore. Frankly, probably won't be top 5. At that point, you kind of feel like you're in a much better situation for the Cowboys. Alex Valages, which player is worth moving up to number 10 to draft? Oof, it's a tough one. Jeffrey Okuda's not going to be there. I don't think Isaiah Simmons is going to be there. So maybe Derek Brown, but I might try to wait to 12 to see if I could go up and get him. But those 3 players are the ones I'd be considering. I've also got an alert for you guys. It is almost Valentine's Day. We know a lot of you guys are dudes that watch the show. Do not forget. So head over to Pro Flowers right now. It's chatsports.com/flowers. Chatsports.com/flowers. That will save you 15% off all flowers and gifts. They've got various gift baskets like these cookie ones up here. Of course, flowers as well. Chatsports.com/flowers. One more time. Chatsports.com/flowers. Check the description. check the comments. I've got that link in there for you guys. So go do it right now before you forget. That way you can avoid the rush shipping as well. Beswell Dominguez, do you think the tag was used so Dak doesn't hit free agency? And if so, when does the deal get done? Well, tag has not been used yet. Tag has not been used yet. The expectation is it might be used. The tag window doesn't even open for another month or so. Or actually half a month, excuse me. It's the 25th is when it opens. If it comes down to it and there's no deal done, yes, the Cowboys will use the tag so he cannot hit free agency, because you don't want that to happen, because then you're probably going to lose your quarterback and then you're in big, big trouble. Matt S. is a 6-year, $37.5 million per year in overpay for Dak. I mean, I'd say yeah, a little bit. But again, by the time he gets to year 3 or 4, the deal's not going to look that bad, and you can get creative with the structuring. It all depends on when you get this deal done. The minute Mahomes signs, you're like, it's okay, we're fine. That deal looks so much cheaper now because you're getting a whole extra player for that price tag. So the quarterback market is very much out of control around the NFL, but look at the Chicago Bears. The Bears have a great team except for their quarterback, and it's killing them. So for the Cowboys, I don't know about you guys, I don't want to go back into quarterback purgatory. I remember the Quincy Carter, the Chad Hutchinson era, when they kept trying to find other players to fill that role. You got a good one in Dak. Just take care of it. Get it out of the way. Tyler Reeves, how realistic is a Jamal Adams trade? Depends on when the Cowboys or what the Jets do with Adams. If they just pay him, they're in the clear. If they continue to drag it out, I think a trade is possible. I just, at most, think it's 2 stars, though, right now. Yoster, what do you think is the Cowboys' most needed position? Figuring out quarterback is number 1. Then for me, it comes down to some combination of the front 4 and the back 4. Cornerback, safety, and the defensive line, including DT and defensive end. You got free agents and you've got needs there. If I'm the Cowboys, I want Dak out of the way so I know exactly what I'm working with in terms of money, in terms of needs, so I can fill the rest of my team and take what should be a playoff contender and make them into a little bit better than that, and maybe finally get back to the Super Bowl, which the Cowboys have been searching for so long. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.